Today's video is going to share two big announcements about the future of this channel. But first, a story. Have I ever told you the story of the pale blue dot? If you look above me, there's a cover art on top of my channel. It's got the new travel. That's my handwriting, by the way. I just write on a whiteboard and then I take a picture and then I put it up there. And in the background, there's this blurry blue image. Does anyone know what that's from? In the late 1970s, NASA released Voyager 1, which was a space probe which was off to do whatever space probes do. You know, it was off to explore the vastness of space. And it was sent out of our solar system into the unknown. But just as it was leaving our solar system, the famous astronomer Carl Sagan asked NASA if they could turn its camera around and take one last picture facing the Earth. And in that famous picture, the Earth is seen as one little speck, one pixel in the distance. And there's a famous quote about that image, which I'd like to read to you today. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you have ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, helpful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. That incredible quote is by Carl Sagan. It really makes you think, doesn't it? It really makes you think about our place in the universe. You know, I don't know much about astronomy. I can't tell the Big Dipper from the Little Dipper from the Medium Dipper. I can't tell the dippers. But the closest I've had to that cosmic experience, that cosmic perspective, has been through traveling. You know, I sometimes feel when I travel to a culture very different than my own, like I'm an alien from another planet. And I've just arrived here. And I'm discovering how things work on this new planet. And sometimes, when you're in a place very different than your own, you know, you can be in a tea shop in Japan, and suddenly something will capture your attention, and it will make you look back at yourself and your own culture. Just like that Voyager 1, stopping to look back at the Earth from very, very far away. That to me is the power of travel. It's not about taking a holiday. It's not about just resting by the beach. It's about something so much deeper than that. But you know, in early 2020, I was pretty sure travel would be gone for a long, long time. When the world shut down, I was pretty sure this YouTube channel might be gone as well. But somewhere in that darkness, somewhere in the horrible situation of 2020, I came to understand a new purpose. Maybe travel isn't just something you can experience far away. Maybe you can take that same travel perspective and apply it to the place where you're living. And so I started to explore Montreal. And I started to explore it not just as a tourist on his first day, you know, going to try some bagels and gonna go, you know, take a picture of that church, but actually trying to understand it in a deeper way. I started talking to Montrealers. I started getting them to share their perspective. I met up with locals who guided me around their neighborhoods. And in a strange way, I feel like my travel videos became better than ever before. And that came to me in that period when everything stopped and everything slowed down in 2020. And so I have a couple of announcements to make today. But very quickly before I get to these, I just got to give a moment of gratitude to everyone out there in Montreal who has helped this series become what it is. This has never really just been about me. It's been about the city, it's been about the culture, it's been about every single person out there viewing and leaving comments and sending me emails. And sometimes it's like overwhelming because I'm just one guy and I'm like, how did I get in this situation? But the fact that these crazy videos I'm doing somehow connect with a lot of you, that's cool. So here are the two announcements. The first announcement, I'm gonna be traveling again. On the road again. I'm gonna be traveling again next month. I booked my ticket. Speaking of things I'm grateful for, this also came out of my YouTube channel. There's an American guy named Francisco, and he'd been watching my content, and basically Francisco just started a tour company, and he's doing his first ever group tour next month in Guatemala. And he said, you know, Dan, fly yourself down there and there's a spot for you on the trip. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Maybe this was just the push I needed to get back to traveling again. You know, I've been enjoying my time in Montreal, but there's still that part of me that misses travel, of course. So this seemed like a great opportunity to get back on the road again. I'll quickly mention that if someone else is interested in going to Guatemala in November, I'll put Francisco's Instagram contact down below. Send him a message and talk, because I'm pretty sure there's still some spots left on the trip. Shout out to Francisco. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But you know, this trip I'm taking, it's not just to Guatemala. It's starting in Guatemala, but after that, we'll see, honestly, we'll see. I booked a one-way ticket. Should I go back north to Mexico? To a country that I love and have explored and grown to appreciate more every time I visit? Or should I go south, down through Central America, to some places I've never visited before? Or maybe all the way to South America, which I visited for the first time when I went to Brazil 2 years ago. That trip blew my mind. But there's so many opportunities out there. It's almost overwhelming. It's like, where do you go? When the whole world is out there, where do you go? What stories do you tell? Which brings me to my second announcement. This is where I need your help. Down below this video, there's going to be a Google form. And in that Google form, anyone who lives anywhere really can fill it out and let me know if you have a story you'd like to see on the new travel. It can be as simple as you are someone who lives in a town and you want to show me what it's like. Or it can be more complex. Maybe you work a unique job. Maybe you're a truck driver in some city and you're like, hey, come make a video about what my day is like as a truck driver in whatever country. Things that look simple to you can actually be very interesting to other people. I mean, heck, it could be like you live in Mexico and your 101-year-old grandma makes the best damn tamales in all of Mexico. And I could go there and make a video about that. The hardest part will be the flights. I mean, if you live in Asia or something like really far away, I'm not saying I can't do it, but it'll take more planning, it'll take more income, and it'll take more, I mean, it's gotta be a good story. If you're gonna get me out there, it's gotta be a good story. And this leads maybe to my final point today, which is just to acknowledge that, you know, there are a lot of people who are supporting this channel financially, either through Patreon or through channel memberships. And I don't talk about this every video. Probably don't mention it as much as I should. But that's because it's always weird bringing money into these things. The fact that people would pay for something that they could be getting for free always makes me feel strange. It's like, who am I to ask for anything? And yet, the reality is, this helps fund my flights. The more support there is there, the more it's possible to do these dream projects and to dig deeper into the world of travel. I just hope that, you know, someday through these videos, I can leave people with that same feeling that that image of that pale blue dot can leave you with. That idea that the world is just so small and we're all so similar in our hearts. You know, all this political bullshit, when you travel, it just fades away. You just see humanity the way it's supposed to be. That's the message of the new travel. I don't know if I ever get it across properly. It's just this idea I've had through traveling. You know, I think anyone who travels deep enough, far enough, wide enough, will discover what humanity is really all about. I'm not saying I'm there. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but that's the quest that we're on together. So let's take this next journey together and Let's see what this planet's really all about. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. As always, guys, I'm Dan from The New Travel. I gotta get a new whiteboard. This one's starting to... Yeah. I guess I'll be leaving this behind too. I'll be leaving this apartment behind. I'll be leaving Montreal behind. But not forever. Just for a little while. Oh yeah, actually I got more Montreal videos coming. I'm not leaving like tomorrow. So yeah. Just soon. Okay, see ya.